Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome back, welcome to. I appreciate the support either way, cuzzies. My name is Joe Josh. I go by iChart Daily. Today is March 16th, 2025. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a window to my thought process on what potentially is playing out with Bitcoin. This is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. Basically, my process, my thought process, and what potentially I would be doing on the horizon. Play-wise, longs, shorts, very simple. When the lines are purple, that means the RSI is below the 50 line, and you have a high probability of using the moving averages as resistance. When the moving averages turn white, it is the 7, 11, and 21. You have a very high probability, if you do see the divergence numbers, to have consolidations back to the moving averages and have support. So with that being said, on a 2-day time frame, if my MACD is below the histogram, meaning you are now negative in the numbers, and your RSI is below the 50 line and still below the moving average, bearish signs, okay? Nothing positive usually comes from that. You're going to have dead cat bounces, the same way we went from, the low, same way we went from 79,000 all the way to 92,000, but once again, lower high compared to the most recent one of 99. You can see we then came down. We went from 76,000 all the way to 85.5, but we're seeing rejection again. I told you in the last video, you should always start with the time frame that doesn't lie to you. On Bitcoin, it's obviously the longer time frames, and you can see here your trend lines. Your trend lines go with your trend indicator, right? As soon as we death crossed here, your trend is coming down. As soon as we golden crossed here, your trend is going up. As soon as we death crossed here, your trend is basically going down. And we're not seeing any bullish signs on the 2-day chart. I am waiting for my ID from the Republic of Palau, which is accepted with majority of exchanges. I do hypothetically own property there, let's just say, and I'm going to be totally transparent with one of my portfolios. It's going to be a strictly trading portfolio to show you guys the strategy of just opening up a long here when everything turns white and we have a golden cross and we're above the 50 line, and basically we go from 59,000 all the way to 102, and then we're taking profit again at 102. Again, moving averages turn purple. Here's your retest. Everything is aligned right here. You're opening up your short from 92,000, taking profit at 78. So as of right now, you can see your divergence numbers coming in. And yes, we did go back to the moving average, but I'm not seeing anything bullish, right? What do I mean by that? I want to see a higher low out of the RSI. As of right now, it is just lower highs, lower lows each time, right? Lower, lower, lower. Yes, we could have dead cat bounces back to the moving average. We could even go above the moving average, but the most important thing is going above the moving average, going above the moving average, going above the moving average, and using it as support. The first time frame, I only mess with the daily, 2-day, 3-day, sometimes the 4, sometimes the 12. I don't trade anything longer than the weekly. I don't trade anything shorter than the 12-hour. I don't like the shorter time frames. There's too many fake outs. You can't bet with the longer time frames because the moves have already played out on these time frames. These are lagging indicators. I use the longer time frames as clarity, okay? Meaning we still remain bearish. That means that the 2-day and the 3-day can have a dead cat bounce. but we're not breaking your most recent high of 106,000. I was explaining to literally so many people over the past week, we're still in the downtrend. Okay, we're in the downtrend. Oops, excuse me. The most important thing is what happens after the downtrend. Okay, we went from 110 down to 75,000. Now we're going to come up. We're eventually going to stay flat. Okay, and then eventually we're going to come up. That's just the way it goes, right? That's why I'm constantly posting the surfboard guy, because all we're doing is just catching the waves, bro. All we're doing is just catching the waves. That's it. Right now, the wave hasn't formed yet. We haven't golden crossed. We've golden crossed on the daily, but once again, we're still forming lower highs, lower lows. RSI, though, has formed higher lows. Still in section B, so most important thing that I see is, like I said the other day, are we going to come down and make a lower low to the 82.2 or potentially even the 81.5? These lows right here, and technically there is a little window to go down to the 78.3, because from here to here is one low, from here 78.5 to 76.5 is another low. So if we have this rising wedge and then we break down, but we see buying pressure again here, and we form anything higher to here, then this could be the start of a bottom. The bottom is not going to break the 94 to potentially 90,000 or even the 97,000. When you form a bottom, your price is going to form a sideways channel, something like this, which will allow the daily to eventually break above the 50 and have your MACD eventually go towards the 0. Then once that happens, I switch to the 2-day to see if that is now using the moving average as support, and then eventually makes its higher lows and higher highs to the 50. Once it breaks the 50, I know we are going, well, if it goes back to the 50, right, here's the plays. If it goes back to the 50, I know we have room to go. As you can see, we went back to the 7, 84.5. If we break that, we're going back to the 86.1. And if we break that, we're going back to here, which would line up with your most recent support here and support here of that level of like that 88 to 92,000, like right here. Something like that. So once again, you could come up, have your wick above, but then as long as the moving average is a purple, nothing positive ever came from that. You could see purple resistance, we came up, but once again, you're not on the time frame that told you what really happened. You can see here, off to the races. These labels are coming in when you're officially the candle that prints when the 7, 11, and 21 are all in a line, showing you that you are the most bullish. Is these print when your 21, 11, and 7 are in numerical order the other way. Most important thing is when you start seeing the death crosses, right? This is how I would line it up. I would want to see the RSI is the first mover. So you're going to see the RSI form your hidden bullish. You're going to break above, use a moving average as support. You're going to see your MACD start volume coming the other way and eventually golden cross. You're then going to see your candle start breaking the 7, 11, and retest the 21. And then once we break the 50 line, we are now breaking the 90,000 and then using it potentially as support here. What I was noticing, I was charting the other day. Once again, I chart every day. What I was noticing was this right here. Okay. I think this is playing out here. We are getting the bearish divergence out of the RSI. Well, let's back test. Let's go back. So the MACD and RSI broke down here, broke down here. You're getting your hidden bearish. Now I'm curious to see if we come back up, form a higher high, like I said, to that 115, 120 level. But again, form another lower high on the MACD, and this time form a lower high on the MACD, showing you that you have double confluence, that a trend reversal is on the horizon. It just looks very similar. It really does. We've broken the moving averages. We've come down. I think this plays out right here. And once again, what you'd want to see is your weekly, or not even your weekly, you want to start with like the 2-day, right? Let's compare apples to apples. So you can see here, as I told you, you're going to stay in a range, right? You're going to stay in the range and use the purple as resistance until, boom, right here. You're going to see a golden cross out of your 2-day MACD, but because you're below the histogram and you're in the section B part of the MACD, you can go flat, okay? When you have a death cross and you're in section A, you can go flat, okay? When you have a golden cross in section A, you pump. When you have a death cross in section B, you bleed. So as of right now, you want to see, like I said, it use the moving average as support, and then eventually head towards the 50. You want to see the MACD volume come down and eventually golden cross. You could see here, even though we golden cross, we came up, came down, double bottomed at the 29,000 while the MACD was going up. RSI was going up. Officially right here, your moving average has turned white. This is when I would be opening up my long from 34,000 and taking profit when the first divergence number comes in around 49,000, 47,000. Line that up with your MACD volume coming down, your RSI being close to overbought territory. So with that being said, if we go to here where we are now, nothing has shown anything bullish yet. Is it a good time to potentially be buying more Bitcoin from 75 to let's just say 78 to 80,000? Definitely. If you're a long-term investor, there's definitely room to grow even back to just 91 to potentially 100,000 for some short-term gains. So what am I going to want to notice? I want to notice if the RSI breaks the moving average. As of right now, it looks like it is retesting. Okay, it's forming. You can see here it's forming. This took from the 24th all the way to the 16th. So if we do that again, right, that's 22 days. You're looking at another 22 days. Again, lines up with April. I've been saying that for a long time. March is usually bad. It's tax season. Everyone pays their taxes, claims their losses, claims their profits, and then it's back to basics, right? It's a rinse repeat type of cycle. And once again, this is your most recent high. I buy at support to take profit at resistance. Right now we're forming support. I'm not a risky trader. I'm very conservative. I'll wait for it to break this 85, 86 level or even 88 and then run that baby up even just to the meat and potatoes of 99 to 100,000 and just leave 10-15% to the 105. 2x leverage, I'm making 26% and whatever it is, just to show you, right? Every time it broke, we went up. Every time it broke, we went up. Even this is what I'm talking about, right? Even it goes back to just the same high. It took 2 days to potentially 28 days to form that top, but you're making 13 to 15% with the 2x leverage. You're off to the races, right? 2-day, again, right here. You wait for the confirmation. She's above the 50 line. She golden crosses right here. Even if you didn't get in at 19, you got out at 23 when officially was the golden cross, you took your profit at the first divergence number. 34 days later, 28%. Even a little blip here, bro, right? Even a little blip here. Okay, breaks the moving averages, breaks the 50 line. You're getting here 62,000, taking your profit here 12 days later, anywhere from 4 to 10%, 2x leverage. Same thing. went below, wait for it to confirm, golden cross with the RSI above, you're going from 42,000 to 54. Again, right, we were below, this is what we're happening now, we were death crossed, we have not golden crossed, we're like here right now. This is what I mean by like we formed that bottom, we're forming higher lows, the price went from 31,000 to 24,000, everyone thinks blah, 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 blah. But once again, I trust charts over people. Once we break the moving average, use it as support here, that first confirm. Plus you have a golden cross. Technically you could have put your money in, let's just say here at 26,000. You could have waited for one more dump to come and retest. Now your lines are white, showing you officially you're above the 50 line with the golden cross confirming it. You are in the play, let's just say here from 27,000 to 34,000, 10 days, 25%. Taking 75% profit here, leaving 25%, and then when the next divergence number comes in, I'm taking 50% of the remaining 25%, then I'm taking 50% of the remaining there, officially closing it when the lines either turn purple. Yep, that's the play. You're in a long when it's white, you're in a short when it's purple. You're taking profit when the divergence number comes in, you're officially closing it when the trend changes the other way. As of right now, it's still forming a bottom. You can see we're getting the divergence, but we're below. Very simple process. XRP, you can see here, right? We're forming this falling wedge. We're not breaking the moving averages because we're in section B. So what am I watching? You can see here, we made a lower low with the higher low. We're looking at the MACD. I want them, you could even set an alert. Set an alert, right click, add alert at the RSI 49.93. Right click, add alert on the MACD signal crossing the MACD. Create. What you just did was you now alerted the system to notify you when the blue line crosses the yellow line, whether it's bullish or bearish. You can also set an alert, right click, 21 day, crossing. You want to make sure that the price, you could do, yeah, condition. I would even do this one is another good one. When the 7 day crosses the moving average 11 day. You could see here, nothing, once you have that cross, you're going to the other moving average right here. Once you have that cross, we're breaking below. Once you have that cross, we're breaking above. Once you have that cross, we're going below. Once we have the cross, boom, right there, we're going above. Once we have the cross, boom, right there. Once we have the cross, once we have the cross. Once again, I'm trying to give you visuals because you could go here and turn off Bitcoin. And if you were just to look at a longer time frame, right, even just look at the weekly, a 2 week, a monthly, there you go, and just say when the lines are purple, it's bearish. When the lines are white, I'm bullish. When the lines are purple, I'm bearish. When the lines are white, I'm bullish. And this is, once again, very accurate, right? Even on, I like it on the Heiken Ashi a lot better because the Heiken Ashi shows just plain momentum, man. Really does. On a 2 day, it's very simple. And that's the video. Love you guys. As of right now, once again, I don't see any gaps that need to be filled on the Bitcoin futures chart. We are still below, so we could once again retest the 76, but the bulls want to see a retest of 82.2 to eventually 81.5, maybe even 74. That's the video. Love you guys.